You saw he mentioned spherical bubbles. Spherical bubbles. Spherical. I mean, like forming like a bubble in the water. When we exhale in the underwater, the bubble forms underwater. So that bubble then moves to the surface. But while it is in the water, it is more or less spherical because the surface tension of in the spheric form is minimum. I mean, as per the physics of it, the spherical form is the most harmonious form because the surface tension is the minimum. So that's why he's saying those are spherical bubbles. And imagine these are all full of spherical bubbles. Now you come in the room and you say, no, I don't want one spherical bubble. I want to make a group of 10, 10, 10. So you put 10, put in one together, okay. Another 10, this. So now this 10, 10 becomes the unit of the next denser plane. Right? Then next person comes, he said, no, I don't want 10. I want 50, 50. So they take 5 groups, put together, and then it becomes a unit for the next denser plane. So, I mean, like that it goes on more and more and more dense. So, is that okay? Because I am now getting nervous.
Shika, so the bubble, the name is the atom, but I remember that the shape is in heart shape, like you showed the.
Yes. The heart shape is the heart shape is the ultimate physical atom of the physical plane that is made up of bubbles. Yes, the ultimate physical atom is not the bubble. Yeah. So let us quickly finish this session also before our brains, explode. Okay. This is a very important point that we are coming to. That we saw that consciousness is expressed in different forms, right? In different planes because the medium is different, so it is different. But here is one very big secret of theosophical studies, and which we can relate to it, is this plane. Mental plane, you can see. So mental plane has one abstract or higher mental plane, which, by the way, I'll tell later that each plane is further subdivided into 7 subplanes. We'll come to it. So mental plane has 2 very distinct classifications. Lower. This one is lower, this one is higher. Lower one is called sometimes concrete thoughts and abstract thoughts. Now, what is the importance of this for us? What is an abstract thought? Can anybody throw some light on that? Symbols. But symbol, okay.
No
Formless. Form. Abstract is formless and concrete is with form.
With aim, without aim.
Sorry?
With aim, without aim.
With him, without him?
With aim and without aim.
E-I-M.
Aim, goal.
Aim. With aim, without aim. That is abstract thought.
But it can be also
How?
with
Sorry, please.
Goal. When you have no mindset, no perfect goal.
Unstructured thoughts he's talking about.
No, not necessarily. Like I am walking in the street, so I saw a shop and I see a beautiful thing and I saw I want to buy this. So all these are unstructured thoughts, but they have a certain idea and form behind it. So unstructured thoughts and careless thoughts can be called psychic garbage. That we keep getting 70,000 thoughts every day in our mind. A lot of it like this, oh, why is he doing like that, she is doing like that, oh, that house is so beautiful, oh, that cloth is so beautiful, that something, which is all the time going on in our mind carelessly, and we leak or mental energy. But here we are talking about abstract. Abstract thought is a thought which does not have a form but has a definition only, like a principle, no form. Ideas. Ideas, exactly as Tobias said, ideas but without any form, just the definition. Like, I say the word car. The definition of car. What is the definition of car? A car. Vehicle.
Moving thing.
Something that has four wheels and then has some structure or something. Okay, let's take another example. Mobile. When I say mobile, the definition, let's go step by step. The definition of mobile is an equipment or instrument which helps me call, communicate and do all sorts of things, right? But the moment I say the mobile or smartphone of particular company, of particular model, what am I doing?
Concrete.
I am giving it a specific form. So what happened? The abstract thought that was one here, right, at this level, the moment it comes here, what happens? How many mobile companies are there? How many mobile models are there? Millions.
More than.
So what happens? One thought in the abstract level, when it comes to concrete level, it takes infinite forms. So the same thing, why I am sharing it, that unity, the more and more higher we go in our consciousness, we will realize this unity. But since we are only most of the time operating in the concrete thought level, so we are perceiving only the separateness, differences. Same like Dr. Aikit Emmy gives the example of a triangle. When we say triangle, what is the definition of triangle? And space covered by three sides, and the sum of angles should be 180 degrees. So that is the idea. But the moment I say quadrilateral triangle, no, sorry, quadrilateral. Acute isosceles, right angle, equilateral. What am I doing? I am making very concrete forms here. And that is one of the very big things to conceptualize, that the higher we go, we are getting more and more closer to unity. Similarly, when the masters have to help humanity, I mean, they don't come in front of you and tell us what to do. They throw some ideas here to different scientists or authors or speakers or whatever. And then whoever is sensitive enough to raise their consciousness catches that thought and maybe write a book, maybe start a spiritual movement, maybe draw some painting, right? But the same one thought will be expressed by different people in different ways. But what our concrete mind does, immediately we do something, we put a patent on it. We put a copyright on it, right? So how hypocrite is the concept of copyright? Because actually we are taking everything from, which is available in the cloud. We are just downloading it from there, but the moment I got it for me, immediately I get it copyrighted. So, should not happen, but we are moving to that level of humanity where there are no more copyrights, but whatever is beneficial for humanity should be free or should be easily available to everyone. So that is what I wanted to share, the difference or the importance of abstract thought. Similarly, this is at this level. The higher we go, it's even more. There are actually no thoughts. They are the realization of consciousness, and then further Atmic level consciousness, there is no more division. Okay. The same planes,
Deep sleep.
the state of human consciousness, we are mostly working in, while awake, we are using this thing, waking consciousness. This is called waking consciousness, dream, deep sleep, and turiya. This we'll discuss more in detail when we do dreams, day after.
Tomorrow.
Which today?
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God. Okay, good. So I have to skip lunch. Okay. So that's what I was talking about. Each plane is further subdivided into 7 subplanes. So these are the names given: solid, liquid, gas, etheric, superetheric, and subatomic, atomic. And again, the sensations that we experience in different. And in a nutshell that I wanted to share in the beginning is these are the planes, and which we will come to shortly when we talk about human constitution. But one more implication. Why do you think the Buddhic consciousness is so important to unfold, especially in the current and the future course of evolution of humans? Maybe we will see it for ourselves. We discussed the physical plane, after that astral plane, and the mental world, earth and its astral body and its mental body. Till now, it is one separate entity. But now what happens? The moment the separation of atmosphere or the consciousness only remains until the mental level. The moment it reaches to Buddhic, here it's common to all. So only the physical, astral and mental spheres of each planet or our bodies are different, separate. But the moment we reach to Buddhic consciousness, that realization of unity is possible as a realization, no more only as intellect. So that's what in the book Space, Time and Self, Mr. Norman Pearson has shown also, that these are different planets of our solar system. So in the mental plane, they are all separate. So what also it means, if my consciousness is up till mental level, I cannot go from one planet to another. I mean, although some space company can take us on the rocket, we are trying to go to Mars, but let's hope, see what happens when it happens. But if I reach to Buddhic level consciousness, I can move from Earth to Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, anywhere. And that's how what we study in secret doctrine, the 4 Kumaras or the lords of the flame who came from Venus to Earth to activate our mental principle, how they would have come? Because their consciousness is at such a high level that they can travel intergalactic spaces without any obstacle. The obstacle is only for the physical body. And I was just watching in YouTube that even some research has come out that aliens are living among us in the form of human beings. So, who knows?
Reptilians.
Who knows who's the alien exactly? We have to watch some movies to know that.
What is the X planet?
Sorry?
X planet.
No, any XYZ planet which is till now observed or not observed by the scientists. Yeah. So this is the thing that all the that's why Buddhic plane consciousness is what Theosophical Society's main aim is. The universal brotherhood or siblinghood is only possible to realize when we touch the Buddhic consciousness. Otherwise, it will always be a sense of separation. Okay. So now we have found, or not found, studied the answer to the question, where am I? I mean, we are in those 7 planes somewhere. Now, that is called in Bhagavad Gita, the Kshetra, the field. And the another aspect is the Kshetrajna, the knower of the field. So now we are coming to the next question, who am I? Because I mean, the consciousness only recognizes all these things. So who is a human? What is a human? Huh? Bubbles. Exactly, bubbles. In reality, we are all bubbles. But it is also said in, I think, most of the religions, is it said something like this? God made human in his...
God made man in his own image, Bible.
Yeah, I added HU to be neutral. God made human in its own image. So what is the image of the God? I mean, so we should be like God, right? So what is the image of the God?
Preserver, protector of animals and some lesser beings.
Protector of the lesser beings and animals. And what about us? I mean, who will protect us? We will protect ourselves.
I think the image of the God in human being is the monad.
Huh? Yes, yeah, we are coming to that.
Actually, we have anthropomorphized God. That
Yes.
is the image that we have.
Exactly, so that's what I am coming to. That a majority of humanity, especially in the religions which have an image of God, and when it is said the God made human in its own image, what we do, we think that God is also like us. Means, if I get happy, if somebody gives me gift, or give me some present, so same thing should happen to God also. Right? If I go in a temple or in a church or somewhere and I offer something, so God will fulfill my desires. Right? Or if somebody tells me a bad word, I get angry, so similarly God may also get angry. And that's all images that is depicted in the scriptures. But that is the image of the God made by the mind. And due to that there has been so much exploitation, superstitions. That can God, who is the source of compassion and love, can ever ask anybody to do any sacrifice to make, to please the God? Sacrifice of animals or sacrifice of humans, or is it? But we do not think that. I mean, we think that because we are in this group and we are studying, so we should also find avenues to blow those sparks to others who may be still thinking that in a humble way, not in not confronting them, but in a friendly manner. That how can the source of love and compassion ask us to sacrifice somebody to please him or her? So that is the misunderstanding. So what is the image of the God? Yes, Katrina.
I don't know if you will mention this further, but now that you mentioned the sacrifice made by man to God, maybe we misunderstand these sacrifices, and the sacrifice is to sacrifice our lower nature in order to reach the God's state that is proper to us.
That is the esoteric meaning. Like the flowers in the puja. It's very easy to pluck flowers and offer, but the real flower is our beautiful mind. So what sacrifice we are misunderstanding is we have to sacrifice some animal. Actually, we have to sacrifice our lower self or ego or selfishness. That is correct.
Our animal nature.
Animal nature. So another image of God is realized by wisdom. And what is that? That is the Trinity in every religion. That God image is in the form of Trinity. So most of the religions around the world, if we see, the manifested God is always in the form of Trinity. And I did some research because I could not find in Islam like this. So what I found is this. Even in Islam, although they do not believe in a God with form, because Allah has no form, talk about three kinds of angels. The angels in heaven, fully absorbed in knowledge of God, messengers who carry out divine decrees, others at a third group of carrying laws of nature. So there also we find this kind of trinity, like first logos, second logos, third logos. Why it is three?
Allah, Rasul and Shaitan. The negative, the higher and the neutral.
The concept of God, devil and human. So yeah, there is no devil as we study in Theosophy except our mind. So why is it three only? Why not four? Why not two?
It's the trinity of the manifestation.
So why is the Trinity? Yeah, it's the Trinity of
The
manifestation.
absolute, the matter, and the spirit.
The two
Yes.
polarities and the sorry, the two
Exactly,
polarities.
exactly.
The two polarities.
The
and
three, once I devised my own theory that the three is the basic, once is the positive and the negative, and to make neutral, to justify, is the zero, neutral.
Okay. Yes, that is exactly the point. Those who know the mathematics, and as you said, the divine Trinity. Why is it three? Because whenever anything's unmanifested comes in manifestation, it has to be like this. From unmanifest, like zero. Like, so zero you cannot measure, it's unmanifested. But when we divide it in positive and negative, we can measure it, which is called Purusha, Prakriti, or consciousness, matter. Which is the second logos. But these do not remain in isolation. So there is mutual relationship. So from zero, it comes out three. Or basically not zero. In that sense, zero is one. I mean, from one becomes three. And that is called by different names. First, second, third logos, or mutual relationship is called Mahat. And that's why all the religions have that, people have that realization, and they call Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. And that is the image that we are made. So it means we are also a Trinity.
Trinity.
Not of the Matrix movie.
So you say that for this picture, the unmanifest is one, there's no duality, but as soon as there is manifestation,
Manifestation, there is duality. Yes. In manifested world, there is always a duality, and as we saw in the fundamental proposition, night and day, ebb and tide,
So as soon as there is existence, there's duality.
there has to be duality. So that is our real identity, the Trinity, and that Trinity is called the monad, the real sense. Okay, this I can skip that. This is the human being with all its parts. Okay. A mobile is the unit, but it is composed of so many things, no? But I can skip that because of the time. So now we are coming to this. This is, we'll spend some time on this. So this is the Trinity that we are talking about. So same, this is who we really are, and we are at the Anupadak level. And three aspects are Father, Son, Father, Son, Daughter, and Holy Spirit. Not Mother, Son, Daughter, and one you understand. Okay, Mother, Son, Holy Spirit, or Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, and will, wisdom, and activity as per what we study in Theosophy. Now, we studied in one of the proposition of obligatory pilgrimage. Right? Yesterday, that the sparks have to take the obligatory pilgrimage. So what is that obligatory pilgrimage? That it has to pass by this and go back. Unconsciously pure like now. Then it will come down, unconsciously impure, then consciously impure, and then consciously pure. Right now, originally we are here, but we do not have any experience of rest of the planes. So I may be born as a son or daughter of the king. But if I always remain in the castle, will it make me a good king or queen?
No.
Until I go and visit my kingdom, right? What condition are the subjects living? What is their problems? All those things, what all things I can do to uplift the situation of the people. So, in that example, if we take, so of course, we are the spark of divine. And so, we do to have all this experience so that in the next, some other universe, we will be the Logos in some millennium years and billion years in future. For that, we have to go through all this to learn, to experience the human stage of evolution, the animal stage, and all these stages. So that is why this is obligatory pilgrimage, it's not optional. Now we are here, so how to go down? So what does, I'm explaining in a very simple terms, not taking any technical terms much. From each of the aspects, a ray comes down at atmic level, at buddhic level, and at higher mental level. And we already have studied that each plane has 7 subplanes, and the top plane is the ultimate atom of that plane, right? So as you see, the will aspect comes down in Atma and take hold of one atom of that plane. Wisdom aspect comes down at buddhic level and takes hold of one atom of buddhic plane. And the activity comes down to higher mental plane and takes hold of one atom. So now what it has done, it has created its reflection in lower planes. And these atoms are actually its representatives on those planes. Like in India, there is a structure, I don't know, in other countries also, there is a president of the country. But there are so many states, right? So president cannot go and visit all the states or all the places. So what each state has is a governor. Each state has a governor which directly reports to the president. Similarly, governor also cannot go to each of the villages, so it has one collectors at the lower level who report directly to them. So now with this system, sitting in their office, assuming that all these people give the true information, not the falsified information, biased information. So sitting in the office in Delhi, the president is getting the information of all these planes by these representatives. And this representative together is called the triatomic Jivatma. Triatomic because this is there. It is also called Jivatma, and it is also called individuality in theosophical literature.
So the ultimate item that you're talking about, is it the same as permanent atom?
Permanent atom, yes, yes.
And
It is
the 3 atoms in those
yes.
creates the causal body.
3 permanent atoms, yes.
And that's the causal body.
No, causal body will be created much later.
Okay.
When from animal, we will come to that. So there are so many atoms, out of which the atom that each monad takes it to itself is called the permanent atom, as Leo said. Why is it called permanent atom? Because, you were saying?
Because permanent atom is, it stays permanent in that plane. When we take a body,
Okay, yes, it is permanent, something has to do with permanency. Why is it called permanent atom? Because these atoms remain with the monad for the whole of Manvantara. They do not change. From the very beginning stage of elementals, this, and until the person becomes realized, superhuman, and then you must must have studied in Voice of Silence. There is Dharmakaya vesture, Sambhogkaya vesture, and Nirvanakaya vesture. In that, the individual and the enlightened being has the option to let go of these atoms or keep these atoms depending on the kind of work that they are want to do. If they want to continue as Nirmanakaya, as most of the adepts do, they need these atoms because they want to convey some message. Done. Those who want to just go in Nirvana, go to some other further consciousness, they leave all these atoms.
So that means that as soon as they leave those permanent atoms, they cannot reincarnate.
They cannot reincarnate in the same universe. So, yeah, that is why it is important. Like it is said of Buddha, no?
Nirvana.
Nirvana is, Nirvana, real meaning is annihilation. Annihilation, of course, of the personality, but also kind of annihilation that no more relationship with this manifestation. They are merged in the supreme consciousness. Only to become some other work in some other universe. But still we have a problem because we have only reached until here. What about this? We have only reached until higher mental plane. So now, this shadow, what we are calling Jivatma or individuality, it has a mind. I mean, it has mind. Mind means consciousness, the self. So it acts as an entity, right? So what it does, it drops a thread of buddhic matter down and it catches one more permanent atom from the fourth subplane, that is the concrete mind level, one from the astral plane and one from the physical plane. And this thread that you see is called Sutra Atma, the thread soul. And I think it's very obvious why is it called thread soul. Because on this thread, these three atoms, permanent atoms, are attached. So basically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 atoms. These are all permanent atoms and they remain with the person, I mean the entity, monad, for the rest of the manifestation until some future work is required. So now, we have seen that being here, we have the information of this level and we have information working of this level also. And all the planes are now covered. But before, first, as I told you, in the first outpouring, the planes were made. The second outpouring, the forms were made by the Vishnu Tattva. So the first form that comes, is made, is the elemental kingdom. Here, on the higher elemental plane. Elemental kingdom 1, elemental kingdom. So, all of us pass through this first. Then comes in elemental kingdom 2. Then we come in elemental kingdom 3. Then we come in the mineral kingdom. And mineral kingdom is the most lowermost point of involution. Because right now, the spirit is going more and more and more down in the matter. So it's called involution. And from there, we start going up in the plants, in the animal, and from there we go in the human kingdom. And after human, the superhuman kingdom. So, all these atoms are basically, you can call them kind of they are vibrating energies. So, they form around them, attract some matter of that plane. And that matter that is attracted around them are our bodies. The etheric body, the astral body, the low mental or causal body, or buddhic body is of course very small, and atmic body, I will come to that. But let's have a look at this, what we were talking about. Is everyone familiar with the concept of group soul? Because I have not read it anywhere else except the Theosophical literature. the concept of group soul, and it explains in a very logical way the difference and how the evolution is going. So, until the human kingdom, I mean before the human kingdom, the rest of the creatures are governed by the group soul, like mineral group soul, plant group soul, or animal group soul. And that is why they are governed by their instincts or nature. I mean, a horse or a monkey or an elephant, by birth they know what to do. Because the group soul information is feeding them. But a human child, if you do not teach the child, I mean, poor guy, I mean, if you don't feed the child or teach him or her how to walk, how to study, he or she will never learn anything. Until and unless, of course, some basic fundamental responses or by hearing something. So why? Because human evolution is governed by individual soul. But there is instinct only in the terms of emotions in humans. But in animals, plants, and minerals, the nature is governing their behavior. So fire will act as fire, water will act as water. If you put in the seed of mango, the mango tree will come, not the banana tree. Right? But in humans' case, even the identical twins may have a completely different, opposite natures. Coming from the same parents, twins, even looking alike, but still they can be very, very different. Why? Because they are individuals. So that is the whole process. From instinct, we have to move to intellect as a human, and then from intellect, move to intelligence or intuition. And this is the working of group soul. Group soul from mineral, then after evolution, it's vegetable and animal. Once it is an animal, what happens, like say in one group soul there are 100 horses, right? So each of the 100 horses will get some experience in their life. Some may be treated good, some may be treated with cruelty, some may be in wild, some may be domesticated. When they die, so all that experience will go in the group soul. So it's like there is a bucket and you put drop of color. So all that color will spread in the whole water. So that learning from that individual horse has gone in the group soul. Yes. Now over a period of time, what will happen, that medium of the group soul, it will start seeing a segregation, like some qualities on this side and some qualities on the other side, like positive or negative. And slowly a barrier will come in between, and that group soul will divide. So instead of 100 horses, now there will be 50 in one and 50 in another. So like this, constantly when it keeps happening, at one point there may be only 2 horses, very evolved horses, in one group soul. And when they also evolved, suppose they got a good contact with human, right? Like Gandalf the Great. From Lord of the Rings. So maybe they got an adept as their master, or the person or some. Coming in, I mean, just by being in contact with such a high evolved human, and that is the important thing about pets. If you have pets, they are constantly getting evolved, they are learning, getting evolved emotionally. They wait for you, and they look at you, they smile, they are loyal to you, they try to protect you, so they are evolving feelings in them. So when at some point there is only 2, or maybe at the last time maybe there is only 1 animal in that group soul, at that point what happens, that this permanent atom at the mental level and the higher mental permanent atom, there is an impulse from down, and the third outpouring that I was telling you, that when the stage is set, the third outpouring comes down from monad here, and both these meet together and it forms the causal body. That is the higher mental plane. At the higher mental plane. And causal body is the storehouse of all our karmas, the memories of past lives and everything. And that now governs our future evolution. That was one of the proposition, that initially by natural instinct, we have the obligatory pilgrimage, initially by natural instinct. In mineral, vegetable, animal. Once it comes to human, then it is self-induced. Then, once we become human, nature leaves us alone. That's why masters use the word orphanage humanity.
In this book, where they investigate the different lives of Krishnamurti and other people, they say that there was kind of also group that they belong to the same group or soul group or something. That was
So now you please.
that was the question. That you said that the humans are no more group soul, but
Yeah, okay.
they don't that they
What Marika is saying, that there is a book, Lives of Alkyone. Alkyone is J. Krishnamurti. So 50 lives of Alkyone, where Annie Besant and C.W. Leadbeater, through their extrasensory powers, clairvoyance, went into the past lives of J. Krishnamurti. They used this causal body only to go through the past. And you are saying there was no animal or that kind of thing.
No, they say that there was a group of.
Yes, I will tell. That brings us to the question of moon. With whom I was talking? Moon, with you only. In the same book, they have found out that the masters, the masters who had inspired the Theosophical Society and what we call in Bhagavad Gita Siddha Sangh or adepts, and this group, Annie Besant, Leadbeater, HPB, Colonel Olcott, J. Krishnamurti, and a lot, they were called band of servers. Band of servers. They were, because before Earth, it was moon where this play was going on. And in that part, J. Krishnamurti, C.W., all these people were animal form. And the masters, whom we know now as masters, were in the normal, advanced humans. What happened one day, that some animals or some wild animals or some people attacked the whom we know as masters, who were humans. But these were their pets. Somebody was in the form of dog or monkey or something. They fought those wild people or wild animals to protect their masters. And in that, J. Krishnamurti died. And that was the depth. And immediately he individualized, because that was a sacrifice that as an animal he or whatever did for the master. So immediately the individualization, because selflessness or sacrifice is a very, very high attribute. Because you don't keep yourself in front. When you sacrifice, it's a very, very high divine attribute. So that was the depth that was fulfilled, that master used J. Krishnamurti in this life as his vehicle, that he became the world teacher.
So each individual will be independent. There will be a guru or a spirit for each person, is what I know from some research.
Yeah.
Every person has their self-guru.
Higher self.
So
The Atmic principle. The Atmic principle of ours, this one. These are all our principles. Atmic principle, Buddhic principle, higher mental, lower mental. Atmic principle is the divine spark. So we are that originally. Sorry?
Yeah, so essentially to say that through the mineral kingdom or even the plants kingdom, that we are in the developments of the matter or the physical bodies. And until you reach the animal kingdom, is to develop the desire or emotion body until a certain point and it comes to human being.
Yeah. Here. So here you can see the mineral is mostly working on the physical plane. So once they they are evolved to vegetable, along with physical, they are also developing some desire. And it is very interesting. Like the sunflower, right? You put it in a way away from the sun, and what will it do? It will
More supposition.
I mean, wherever the sun is coming, it will turn. So that is kind of, similarly at the level of atoms, we call it chemical affinity, right? What is chemical affinity? Desire to be together. Maybe Na wants to be with Cl to make NaCl. Salt. Yeah. Or hydrogen or something. Chemical affinity. And so all these are small desires at that level. Then when they are evolved to animal kingdom, so apart from physical, emotional or desire, they also develop some mental aspects, like memory. And so many experiments have been done. We are missing our Lele. Lele, our who has adopted us, it's a dog. So when we are here now, because last time when we were away for 1 month, my colleague and Catalina's colleague told that 9 o'clock she used to go to the office, sit there sad, not eat anything. Lunchtime, come back at home. 2 o'clock again go to office, and then when the office is closing 5 o'clock, then coming back to office. Now, who is giving that intelligence or intellect to that sweet creature that this is the time now to go to office, because she follows us to office everywhere. And she does not eat also during those days, so we are very sad, but let's see how she will be, because she will be happy to see us back. So they have developed some sort of mentality in that sense.
Do certain animals have access to the higher principles?
No, as an animal, no. The higher principle for them actually is from animal coming to human. So what happens, till now you see these are the permanent atoms at Atmic, Buddhic and higher mental. They have limit up to this because it's a group soul. So to contact the higher principles, they need a bridge. So that bridge is provided here when individualization happens and the causal body is formed. So the causal body directly is in touch with the Buddhic and the Atmic. So any impulse that will come from Atma or Buddhi or intuition will come first to causal body, that is abstract thinking, and then comes to lower mental, which is directly connected with our brain. So we need to burn, purify, transform all this part to have a continuous flow of intuition or higher aspirations and attributes of love and compassion.
So you say that animal to animal ready to individualize the two groups. So for animal to become animal ready to individualize, they need to experience a lot of love and care from human beings so they can develop.
Yes.
And if they develop and they are ready to individualize, when they become human beings, they will most likely reincarnate into like an environment that is closest to the nature, like tribal people.
Yes. Yes, because no matter how advanced an animal is, it cannot be compared with a human. I mean, even a human with very low intellect or whatever, it is still much higher than an animal who has just individualized. So that entity would be kept in certain places where, suppose if you would suddenly a kindergarten student or PhDs, right? And ask that kindergarten student to discuss the law of physics, what will happen to the poor person? And he will feel depressed. So that's why the surrounding is chosen for that person, as you said, in a place where he or she can relate to and learn. And in the beginning, it is said that they will go through a lot of experiences of extreme pain, extreme pleasure, because in the Mahatma letters it is said we take about 777 births from this. From this to this, we take about 777 births. And out of which, about 700 births are just born in a lot of animal instincts, right? Not thinking what is right and wrong. Then about next 70 births pass into where we are become a little bit civilized. Okay, this is right, this is wrong, something like that. And then after that, once we arrive at the stage that no, there is no other path to go, spirituality is the only path where I will know the truth. From then on, and when the person walks on this path, what we study in Theosophy, it is said that it takes 7 more births to become an adept. But all this is a relative thing. If you have a very strong conviction and determination, those 7 births can happen in 7 hours.
Buddha.
Huh?
Buddha.
Buddha, yeah. Or 7 hours or 7 minutes or 7 months or whatever. But basically the point is that it takes a long time. And 700 births does not mean 700 years. Even if we live for 100 years, that is only on the physical plane. Because a lot of time we spend in the astral and mental plane after dying, which is to the level of 1,000 years, Devachan or so-called hell, depending on our deeds that we do here. And so we will come to it later when we study life after death. So this is how that whole evolution goes. So basically now the human constitution, as we can, in some places it is called body, soul, spirit. So there's 3 aspects. But if you go in, or it is also called soma, psyche and pneuma. Soma is body, psyche is our desires and lower thoughts. Pneuma is, what is the meaning of pneuma? Huh? Breath. So again, it is the equivalent of spirit. Again, the breath of the Logos. That is who we are. And there is another Indian way in that it says stula. That is physical, sukshma, subtle body, karma means causal body, and atma. So that makes it 4. In Vedanta, it is annamaya, physical body, pranamaya, etheric body, manomaya, mental body, vijnanmaya, causal body, anandamaya, buddhic body. They don't consider atma as human principle. Why? We will come here. This is as per Theosophy. Physical, etheric double, prana, desire, manas, buddhi and atma. There are different classifications. Sometimes prana is removed and manas is told higher and lower mental, but it is more or less this. What HPP has written, that we include Atma among the human principles in order not to create additional confusion. But in reality, it is no human but universal absolute principle of which buddhis are carried. Because Atma is universal. So, but I will not go deeper than that because otherwise really our brains will explode. So if you want to read more, you can go through collected writings of HPB in which she mentions something like auric egg. Right? So you study about that and it will give you the idea. So basically, yeah. This is also what I was saying earlier, that from the 7 hierarchies of being, each of which has a direct bearing upon and relation to one of the human principles. That all our these bodies are somehow given by these planets, the planetary heads. So we are all the time in communication with them. So maybe that is the base of astrology, that is the base of the science behind the stones, or any such science, or the colors. Yeah. This is from HPB, Human Constitution, the key to theosophy, same. But I think I'll go quickly to this. This is more. Yeah. So this is in brief, that this is the logos, the monad. Then it has 3 aspects, which is called individuality, atma, buddhi, higher manas. And then there is a connection in between, which is called antahkarana. And then the lower 4, which is called personality. It has lower manas, astral plane, and 2, the etheric body and the physical body. So this is basically the whole human constitution. And so here is the monad, I am. Also, those who have studied Nisargadatta Maharaj, I am that, his teachings. So he said to just concentrate on I am, not I am this or I am that, so that you will take you to the source. Because this is the essence, but when we say I will, so that is the Atmic level, I love, Buddhic level, I know, mental, I think, lower mental, I feel, astral, and I act, physical. So this is a diagram to show all these things. Now we come to, I think, Antahkarana, little bit of Antahkarana, because that's a very important thing. Antahkarana, as we saw, is the channel between our higher ego and individuality and personality here. Right? That is very important, because that is the bridge between our higher self and lower self, link between the personal being, whose physical brain is under the way of animal mind, and the reincarnated individuality, that is the higher one. In reality it is one, but when the person takes birth, then only this duality exists. So when we talk after life after death tomorrow, then in that we will see that at death, this Antahkarana takes all the good things from our lower mind and supplies to our higher mind. But if we have done nothing good in life, then what will happen? There is nothing for it to hand over to report to the governor or president. So what will happen? It will pull down a lot of mentality, and it will remain in the astral plane as a ghost. I mean, as whatever entities that are, giving invisible things. So, and that has a very negative effect. And basically, that life of the individual will be erased from the book of life of monad. So, whatever good things we do, whatever abstract thinking, selfless activities, helping each other, or spreading joy, happiness to people, whatever good things we do, they are passed on through the Antahkarana to the higher self, and that is what's the earning of our life. I mean, normally we earn our earning in the form of money, right? We do a job and we get some money. But actually that is the real earning of our life, all the good deeds that we have done, that we hand over to our higher manas. And the higher manas does not unite itself with the child before completion of 7 years of life.
So Shika, so when you say that some dark magician or black magic practitioner, when they do anything that goes against the nature of love, the universe, whatever, and they call them lost souls, so does it mean that because of the bridge has been broken?
That bridge has been broken, and then they are called lost souls, and then they will go to Avicii, which is like a place where it's very depressing state of being. But of course, that is also taken care of by the nature. Then they will be born in some other universe, some other time, maybe they have to go through all this mineral, animal, plant again to learn the lesson. So yeah, but that's what HPP has given the name lost souls. That when the person becomes so, that it has nothing positive to give to the higher self, then that bridge is broken and the mind, lower mind is completely captured by the astral, the negative, selfishness. And then it keeps on living for a while until it exhausts its energy, until it dies. But nature takes care of it. So now coming to the pictorial presentation, I think these are self-evident. If you can see that this is a primitive human being, the astral body, mental body, and the spiritual body, or higher mental and buddhic together. So in astral you can see a lot of colors, which are I think last day we will study about thought power, the colors and the thought forms, so this will become more clearer. So first, astral means the person is very much controlled by its emotions, very impulsive, sudden anger, irritation and all those things. So those are the colors. Mental, again there are no specific colors, very red or yellow. And the spiritual causal body is colorless almost, that is, it is not yet developed. Then the average man, you can see how the colors are changing, becoming more refined in astral, mental and spiritual. And then in a highly developed individual, you can see the astral, mental and spiritual. And if you see this yellow one, yellow is the color of very high intellect and intelligence. So it means this person is doing a lot of contemplation, thinking, philosopher or something. So that is shown in the aura of the person. And I think since it is developed person, this most likely is the pink of love. And this is green of compassion, blue of devotion, spirituality.
Purple and gold.
Sorry?
Purple and then gold.
Purple also is very high spirituality. I think maybe this or somewhere here. Okay, the slide is not so good. And this is of an arhat. In Buddhistic terms, arhat means the person who has realized one level lower than the adept. So you can see how the causal body has become shining. So imagine a Buddha and all those people, how far extended their causal body would be that will affect people around them. So the more and more developed we become, evolved we become, our circle of influence grows farther and farther and stronger. And this is what happens to our bodies when we are in affection. You can see how it affects us. Depression. You see, it's like we have put ourselves in a prison. And then, you can see nothing can approach us. Whatever a person says to you, you will, I don't know. People will have to try, they prefer to go to a doctor, to psychiatrist or psychologist. But imagine if they have this knowledge, then, because even psychiatrists or psychologists, what can they do? so many psychiatrists and psychologists come to J. Krishnamurti to listen to his talks. Because they might give you some medicines which are more or less to put you sleep. And they will listen to motivation, and maybe your psychologist has to go to see some other psychologist at the end of the day. Because, I mean, yeah, if you keep hearing somebody's continuously and you do not have this connection, then how will you process all that? At some point of time, you yourself need to, solve your inner things. So that is depression. This is fear. Again, we create ourselves around ourselves a prison. So person in fear will not listen to you even if you tell the person, no, there is nothing to worry about. But the person will not listen to you. Anger. You see all these black and like thorns. So if a person is in very much anger, if you go near that person, you will, if you are sensitive, you will feel like something is pinching you. And you will like, step back. Because of all this happening in our subtler bodies. And this devotion, these blue circle, blue is the color of devotion, so that's why the person is in devotion, so that's what happens to. Okay. This is the combined thing. Okay, I would like to show you this one. In this, you can see, apart from the physical body, there is this violet gray kind of body, which is the etheric double, which is also part of physical only. The top 4 sub divisions, like solid, liquid, gas is this body, but the pranamaya kosh or the pranic body is this one, which all the chakras are in this body, not in physical body. So from that chakras only we are connected. Our physical bodies is connected through our etheric double to our astral body.
So what's the difference between the disease and healthy pranic body? Because they more or less look the same.
They more or less look the same because this. No, it's the same here. More or less look the same. But I'll tell you maybe in that also, because when I was making them, I wanted to fit in one poster. So, but if you see the book, the difference I will say. The disease is, this is like also spreading the energy from your body. Suppose there is a water pipe, right? And the water is coming from here, and there is the end of the pipe. What will happen if the flow of the water is too much? What will happen to this part? It will go like this, right? But what will happen if you reduce the flow? What will happen to this part? It will go like this. So that is the difference between the disease and the healthy. If you go in the book of C.W. Levitt, Man, Visible and Invisible, that is the explanation that maybe it's not very well caught up in the image, that the energy that we are all the time spreading around ourselves, it will be like this. And if we are healthy, it will be going far and wide and affecting.
So it's the distance to
Yes. So it means our pranic level is low in disease and our pranic level is high when we are healthy. And let us do one experiment. Oh, I have to be there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just we can move. You can move a little bit there.
Or you switch off the projector.
A little.
I know it's okay. Okay, so I request you guys to put your palms like this. And keep your back straight. Okay, close your eyes. Now take 7 deep breaths. And by deep breath, I mean when the air is going in, it should go down to the stomach stomach should come out, and when we exhale, the stomach should go. Now, open your eyes. Look at my palms, what I am doing. I am doing very slight, gentle movement, trying to bring my palms together. Try to do for yourself also, very, very gently. Okay, and now we can keep our palms down. Yes. So, when we did like this, anybody want to comment what you felt?
Energy.
Slight resistance.
Energy.
And something in between that was stopping us from bringing us together, the hands? So what was that? Okay, I mean, it means there is certain things invisible to our eyes, but when we become sensitive, little bit silence, little bit of our mind and relaxed, then there is energy in between, either coming out from our hand or our subtle bodies, which are all the time around us. So even when you are sitting next to each other or me with somebody, we are all the time affecting each other with our bodies. So that's how people feel at peace when they go to some shrine or the saints or some pilgrimage. Why? Because the vibrations of that place are such that they are affecting our uneasiness or whatever, anxiety or some stress, and we feel good. And that's what we are doing all the time when we are with each other, not touching each other, but still we are affecting each other. And that's why so many places in spiritual disciplines, the person or the disciple is suggested not to go in the crowded space, not to go in the markets or not to go in the multiplex malls or something like that. Why? Because if you are not strong enough, you will be immediately bombarded with so many emotions, desires of people crossing, sitting next to you and everywhere, that if you are not strong enough, then you will carry that effect with you and us, and then we will think, oh my God, how could I do that, or how could I think that, or how could I eat so much, or how could I spend so much? And why? Because we were affected by some external source. So that is how we are continuously getting affected and affecting others around us. And all these are the play of these invisible forces that we are studying in theosophy.
So for the etheric body, so that's the plane that the chakra are located. So can I say that whatever we feel painful or we feel itchy somewhere, is coming from the etheric double?
Yes, that's because, yes, that is also something, because we normally think the sensations are in the physical body, but actually no. And etheric double, as you said, is a very good example of that. What does Anesthesia. Anesthetist. Anesthetists do when they put some anesthesia. What happens? We become numb. Why we become numb? Because the blood is still flowing in that part.
It's the ethical and the physical body is distinct.
From that part, sorry? No, nerve explanation maybe for the modern bias doctors and all, but the real explanation as per the couple science, the etheric double gets dislocated from that part. So now if the etheric double is, let's say they put in this area, so the etheric double will be disconnected from this area or maybe entirely from the body. Now you do whatever to this hand. The sensations will not go through the etheric double to the astral body where the centers of sensation are. That will make us feel pain or pleasure. We think it is in this body. But if it was, then then anesthesia should be of, because the body as such is there. And when the etheric double is removed from that part, all the nerves and whatever explanation comes into play. But behind that, the real thing is that anesthesia does that. The etheric double is dislocated and then no pain. But the same effect can be obtained from meditation. Like we read about people when they underwent for their operation, they told the doctor, do not put me anesthesia. I'll be in meditation. That's what we discussed. No, I am not the body. So if I am not the body, how should I feel the pain? But that much level of meditation or thing one must have before saying that. So ultimately it's all in the mind, as we say. No, yeah, astral, everything is there. Only thing, the connection between connection is still there, but it's blocked due to some karma of the person. Yeah, and we will study that even in life after death, that even the person in coma gets full consciousness just at the moment of death, and he or she comes to know why that thing happens, what happens. So even the mad person, a person in coma or whatever, unconscious, before death, everyone, but of course that's not visible to doctors or something. It happens at a certain level that the person, the whole life picture goes in front, and for a moment it is full consciousness for them. That masters have written in the letters. So this is something. This is the vitality globule. Okay, I think this all you can study later. And in the chakra, it is absorbed by our spleen chakra. This vitality globule that is coming from sun. So that is why, I don't know if you have heard about people who do not eat anything. They just be in the front of sun in the morning and in the evening or some time of the day. And that's enough for them. So, yeah.
Before that, they rely on leaves.
And even NASA, I think that person is from Rajasthan, I don't know, Rajasthan or somewhere. People told they believe him, so NASA took him to their laboratory and put him
Young boy.
under surveillance. Then let's see if the person is eating or not something,
For years.
So they did everything, So there are sciences. Sciences mean there is science behind all this. Only as much we know, we implement it in our lives. So, and it's a never-ending story, as it is said in Hindi. Hari Ananta Hari Katha means the absolute is boundless and talking about is timeless. So we can go on talking, but it's 1 o'clock and it's the time for me. And I congratulate you all that you survived the session. Thank you all.